So you've probably heard the stories, right? About creators making an absolute fortune on Roblox. But what's the real story? How much can you actually make on the platform? Well, we're going to break down the real numbers, from the millionaire elite all the way down to the everyday developer.
Okay, let's just start with this number right here. $1 billion. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That's the sheer scale of the economy we're talking about. But what does that staggering figure actually mean? Where does it come from?
So that $1 billion, that's what Roblox expects to pay out to its creators all around the world in just 1 year. We're talking between March 2024 and March 2025. It's a huge sign of just how fast this whole economy is growing, and yeah, it's pretty much the pot of gold that everyone's chasing. But, of course, that money isn't spread out evenly, not even close. So let's start at the very, very top of the pyramid and take a look at the kind of life-changing money being made by the most successful developers out there. I mean, just look at this scale. This isn't just a good salary we're talking about. These are straight-up fortunes. The top 10 developers, they're averaging a stunning $33 to $38 million a year. Wow. And it doesn't stop there. The top 100, they're pulling in about $7 million. Even if you're in the top 1,000, you're looking at an average of $1 million a year. The potential at the very peak is it's absolutely immense.
So yeah, that's the dream, right? That's what gets millions of people excited to build on the platform. But it brings up a really, really important question. What about, the typical creator? What does the picture look like for them?
And this is where things get interesting. Because the reality for most creators on Roblox, it tells a very, very different story.
Okay, check out this number. $1,440. What is that? Well, that's the median annual payout. And what that means is that literally half of all creators who earn anything on Roblox make less than this amount in a year. Talk about a stark contrast to the millions we were just looking at, right?
And yeah, this comparison really just lays it all out there, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the top 1,000 creators averaging $1 million a year. On the other, the median creator is at about 1,400. It shows you just how incredibly top-heavy this whole economy is. The superstars are earning millions, while the average person is earning a tiny, tiny fraction of it.
Okay, so how does this all actually work? How does the money get made? I mean, how do you go from having a cool game idea to actually getting a check in the bank? Let's break down the mechanics of it.
All right, the key to this whole thing is something called the Developer Exchange Program, or as everyone calls it, DevEx. This is the official, and I mean the only way you can turn your in-game earnings, your Robux, into actual real-world cash. Think of it as the super important bridge that connects the virtual Roblox economy to your actual bank account. And the path to getting paid is actually pretty straightforward. It starts with the players, right? They spend real money to buy Robux. Then they come play your game and hopefully spend that Robux there. Once you've stacked up at least 30,000 of what they call earned Robux, that's your ticket. You've hit the threshold, and you can now cash out through the DevEx program.
So where do those Robux actually come from? Well, the biggest one is in-game purchases. People buying special items, cool power-ups, game passes, that kind of thing. But that's not the only way. You can also get what are called engagement-based payouts. Basically, you get rewarded for how long premium subscribers hang out in your game. And more recently, stuff like immersive ads and sponsorships are becoming a real way to make money too.
Now, this part is absolutely critical to understand. For every dollar a player spends in your game, how much of that do you, the developer, actually get to keep? Well, after Roblox takes its cut for platform fees, app store costs, and all the other overhead, your share comes out to be roughly 25%. So yeah, that other 75% goes to the platform. That's a huge piece of the puzzle you have to factor in.
So what does it actually take to make real money? Well, here's a pretty good benchmark that gets passed around the developer community. They say if you can get and keep about 1,000 people playing your game at the same time, what they call concurrent players, and your game is monetized well, you could be looking at anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 a month. It really just proved that success here is all about building a huge engaged audience. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, what do you really have? Honestly, it looks a lot like a digital gold rush, doesn't it? There's this massive, massive opportunity, but there's also an incredible amount of competition. And the path to actually striking it rich is super, super steep.
All right, let's just quickly recap the main takeaways here. First, the Roblox economy is a massive billion-dollar ecosystem. But, and this is a big but, it's shaped like a pyramid. You've got a tiny fraction of elite creators earning millions. Meanwhile, the vast majority of people are making pretty modest amounts. So what's the secret sauce? Well, success really depends on getting a huge audience and having really smart monetization to turn all that playtime into Robux you can actually take to the bank.
It really is a digital gold rush, with millions and millions of prospectors out there trying to stake their claim. The potential for wealth is absolutely undeniable, but so is the challenge. So I guess the final question is for you. If you're thinking about joining the rush, where are you going to start digging?